Now, when it comes to structure as well, uh, it's not just about writing an essay plan. If it were that easy, it would everyone would do it. It's also about organizing your ideas and being coherent throughout the essay. This especially comes through two tools that we have, which is transitions and organization. Coherence is absolutely imperative in academic writing. It ensures that your essay is easy to read and understand, making your arguments more convincing and engaging. Uh, Coherence essentially is achieved when each part of your essay connects logically to the next, creating a smooth flow of ideas. So it's reading a story, it's not just reading different individual statements. Here, transitions are important, not just as stylistic flourishes, which some people might consider them to be, but as essential tools for clarity and coherence in essay writing. This is like using transitions words and phrases like furthermore and however, in contrast, and as a result to show relationships between ideas. And especially, I like to start my paragraphs with a transition that connects to the previous one, kind of create, if you imagine an arrow diagram connecting the two. So I have what I conclude with on the previous paragraph. I use that to start my next one. That makes it flow and read really, really nicely. You do need to make sure that the transition words that you're using are appropriate. One that I often see misused is besides, which is a very specific one that I would urge you probably to avoid if you don't know what it means. I've included here 8 categories of transition words and phrases that I encourage you to have a look at and use. I think it's important when we use our transition words that we don't do it just for the point of doing it, though. We don't want to completely have our essays sprawling with transition words, but we want them at those critical junctures where we feel we might lose our reader. That's especially at the beginning of your paragraphs. Um, Secondly, it's important to focus on one main idea per paragraph. This might mean writing slightly more paragraphs, but slightly shorter. But once you start introducing different ideas into a paragraph, it really becomes hard to read. I encourage you when you're reading stuff for your courses and classes to think of this, because I imagine a lot of the stuff you're reading, you will see that this is the approach people take, and I encourage you to take it as well. Uh, this is where especially the topic sentence comes into mind. This is where you introduce the main idea just of that paragraph, and you focus that paragraph on that simple idea. This simplifies the reader's process of understanding and following your argument. Now, it's also important that to achieve this, that you revisit your thesis and main points to reinforce the essay coherence. What I like to do when I'm writing is I have 2 sticky notes to begin with. I have the question and I have my thesis statement, and I put that right behind where I'm writing so I don't forget it. And then once I have the one key idea that I've used in a paragraph, I put it below. And then I have it just so when I'm writing other stuff, I can always kind of peek back and look, am I still on track? Am I building this coherent, compelling story that I'm trying to tell? Really, it's important to view the essay as a cohesive whole rather than a collection of individual parts.